Hello everyone and welcome back to biology. Today we are continuing with lesson number 11 on traits, heredity, and gene expression. Now, like I started explaining last class, traits are certain characteristics of our appearance. It can be our eyes, our hair, our smile, our ears, so on and so forth. There are several traits. Now, we're going to move on to gene expression. Keep in mind that we are receiving one gene from each parent, one from mom and one from dad. Let's say your mom has straight hair, so she's going to send over a gene that represents or tells the protein to be straight in your hair. Let's say your dad has straight hair as well. He's going to send a gene that's identical to that one. Those two identical genes in that one organism are referred to as homozygous. Okay? This literally just means that the two genes that are received, one from each parent, are identical. Now let's say that we are in a situation where your mom has straight hair, but your dad has curly hair. In that case, the genes will not be identical. What is that called? That is called heterozygous, which means that it has two different genes for a particular trait. In this case, it's our hair. Now, how would we determine, in this case, how would we determine whether your hair is curly or straight if you have one of each? This is where dominant and recessive genes come into play. Let me get into that next. You heard me mention dominant and recessive. Now, what do those words mean? Dominant is pretty much what it sounds like. It is a gene that dominates or masks another gene for the same trait. Like I said, let's say our mom has straight hair and our dad has curly hair. But our mom's gene is dominant. It will literally do that. It will dominate it. It will dominate over the other gene, which is a curly hair gene. That curly hair gene is going to then be called a recessive gene, which means that it is a gene that is not expressed when paired with the dominant gene. So, since it's being paired with a dominant straight hair gene, then you will not have curly hair because the dominant gene took over that curly hair gene and it just didn't get through to express it, so it didn't show through. So you're not going to have any curly hair. Does that make sense? So a very brief recap on what we talked about today, which is heterozygous and homozygous genes, and also whether genes are dominant or recessive. Now, homozygous genes are the two genes that are identical in one organism, whether they are both recessive or they are both dominant. They're both identical, therefore they are considered homozygous. Heterozygous, on the other hand, means that they are both different. One can be dominant and one can be recessive. It has to be that way. And whichever one is dominant is the one that's going to take over the recessive one and express itself. Okay? That's just a brief explanation. Next time, we are going to be going into how we can predict certain traits. For example, whether you would have curly or straight hair. But that's for next class. Today, for your assignment, I want you to send me a picture of the vocabulary words we learned and went over today. It's 4 of them. So please make sure you have that. I will be expecting an email from all of you very, very soon, and I hope you all have a very, very wonderful day. Goodbye.